Hi everyone, I am Ankita Majumdar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to teach you class 7th SST Political Science chapter 3rd How the State Government Works. In this chapter we will learn about that how the state governments work. Okay, so here is the short story. You can see and you can read once. First topic is who is an MLA? The above section shows some events in Patalpuram. You may be acquainted with some official names such as DC, CMO, etc. But have you heard of an MLA and the Legislative Assembly? Do you know the MLA of your area? Can you identify which party she or he belongs to? Members of the Legislative Assemblies, called MLAs, are elected by the people. They then become members of the Legislative Assembly and also form the government. In this way, we say that the MLAs represent people. The example below will help us understand this better. There is a legislative assembly in every state in India. The states are divided into different areas or constituencies. Now look at the map below. It shows that the state of Himachal Pradesh is divided into 68 cons- assembly constituencies. From each constituency, the people elect one representative who then become a member of the Legislative Assembly, that is MLA. You would have noticed that people stand for election in the name of different parties. These MLAs therefore belong to the different political parties. How does an MLA become minister or chief minister? The party which wins in more than half the number of constituencies in a state is said to be a majority. Such political party with a majority is called the ruling party, and the other parties in minority are called the opposition. For example, the Legislative Assembly of the state of Himachal Pradesh has 68 MLA constituency. Candidates from various political parties won the 2003 assembly election and become MLAs. Since the total number of MLAs in the Legislative Assembly is 68, a political party would have to more than 34 MLAs in order to gain a majority. The Indian National Congress INC with 43 MLAs had the majority and it is become the ruling party. All other MLAs become the opposition. In the case Bharatiya Janata Party BJP was the major opposition party since it had the largest number of MLAs after the Indian National Congress. Among the opposition were other parties included those who had been elected as independent candidates. Result of the assembly election is HP in 2003 are shown on the table you can see in your book. Okay, so understood. So once the elections are over, then the MLAs of the ruling party will elect their leaders, who finally become the chief minister. In this case, the Congress party MLAs choose Shri Veerbhadra Singh as their leader as he becomes the chief minister. The chief minister then selects other people as minister after the elections. It is the governor of the state who appoints the chief minister and other minister. Okay. The chief minister with the ministers selected by him are responsible for running various government departments of ministries. Such appointed ministers have separate offices. A legislative assembly is a place where all the MLAs, whether from the ruling party or from the opposition, meet to discuss various things. Hence, some MLAs have dual responsibility, one as an MLA and other as a minister. We will read about this further. Now next topic is a debate in the Legislative Assembly. Rahul, Sujata, Afreen and many other students from their school visited Legislative Assembly, which was housed in an impressive building in the capital of the state. The children were excited. After security checks, they were taken upstairs. There was a gallery from where they could see the large hall below. There were rows and rows of desks. This assembly was going to have a debate on a current problem. During this time, MLAs can express their opinions and ask questions related to the issue or give suggestions about what should be done by the government. Those who wish to can respond to this. The minister then replies to the questions and tries to assure the assembly that adequate steps are being taken. The chief minister and the other minister have to take decisions and run the government. Generally, we hear or see about them in the news channels or in the newspapers. But whatever decisions are being taken must be approved by MLAs. In a democracy, these MLAs are free to ask questions, debate an important issue, or decide where money should be spent, etc. They are the main authorities. Let's see the discussion from MLA 1. MLA 1 saying, during the last 3 weeks, 15 people have died because of diarrhea in my constituency, Akhand Gaon. I think it is a shame that this government has not been able to check the situation of a simple problem like diarrhea, which proclaiming itself to be a champion of technology. I would call the attention of the minister in charge of health to take immediate measures to control the situation. After that, MLA 2. My question is, why are government hospital in such a bad situation? Why is the government not appointing proper doctors and other medical staffs in the district? I would also like to know how the government plans to deal with this situation, which is affecting a large number of people and is also spreading. This is an epidemic. After that, MLA 3. My constituency of Tolpatti too has a serious shortage of water. Women travel up to 3 or 4 kilometers to collect water. How many tankers have been put into service to supply water? How many wells and ponds have been cleaned and disinfected? After that, MLA 4 said, I think my colleagues are exaggerating the problem. The government has taken steps to control the situations. Water tankers have been put into service. ORS packets are being distributed. The government is doing everything possible to help people. That MLA 5. We have very poor facilities in our hospitals. There are hospitals that do not have a doctor and no medical staff has been appointed for the last few years. In another hospital, the doctors has gone on a long leave. This is a shame. I think the situation is going from bad to worse. How are we going to ensure that ORS packets reach all families in the affected areas? After that, MLX, the government is unnecessarily blamed by the opposition members. In fact, the previous government did not pay any attention to sanitation. We have now taken up a drive to clean the garbage that has been lying around for years. In the earlier section, you have read about a debate in the Legislative Assembly. The members were debating the action taken or not taken by the government. This is because the MLAs are together responsible for the work of the government. In common usage, the word government refers to government departments and various ministers who head them. The overall head is the chief minister. More correctly, this is called the executive part of the government. All the MLAs who gather together assemble in the legislative assembly are called the legislature. They are the ones who authorized and supervise their work. As we saw in the earlier section, it is from among them that the head of the executive or the chief minister is formed. Now, our next topic is working of the government. Today, the work of the government and its action are not only expressed in the Legislative Assembly but newspapers, TV channels, and other organizations regularly talk about the government. In a democracy, there are various ways through which people express their views and also take action. Let us look at one such way. Soon after the discussion in the assembly, there was a press conference organized by the health minister. Large number of people from different newspapers were present. The minister and some government officials were also present. The minister explained the steps the government had taken. Reporters asked many questions at this meeting. This discussion were then reported in different newspapers. The following page has one such report. The Chief Minister and the Minister for Health visited Patalpuram district next week. They met the families who had lost their relatives and also visited the people in the hospitals. The Chief Minister at the very spot announced a compensation of their families. The Chief Minister also said that he thought the problem was not only one of sanitation but also a lack of clean drinking water. He said that a highest level equity committee will be asked to look into the needs of the district to people sanitation facilities and would requested the minister for public works to take care of the needs of proper water supply in the region. You have seen that the chief minister and the minister who are in the power have to take action. They do so through various departments like the public works department, the agriculture department, the health department, the education department, and so on. They also have the answer questions that are asked in the legislative assembly and convince people asking the questions that proper steps are being taken. At the same time, newspaper and the media wisely discuss the issue and the government has to respond, for example, by holding the press conferences. The government has the right to make new laws for the good of the people as whole. It can make new laws for the state regarding sanitation and health facility. For example, it may make it compulsory for municipal corporation to ensure that there are adequate toilets in every urban areas. It may also ensure that a health worker is appointed in every village. This act of making laws on certain issues is done in the legislative assembly of each state. The various government departments then implement these laws. Laws for the entire country are made in the parliament. Understood, students? So, in a democracy, the member of the legislative assembly, that is MLAs, are elected by people. So, it is the people who have the main authority. The ruling party members then form the government, and some members are appointed ministers. These ministers are in charge of various departments of the government, such as health in the above examples. Whatever work is done by this department has to be approved by the members of Legislative Assembly. Understood, students? So here we have completed our chapter 3rd. Now you understood, I think, that how the state government works. So your homework will be, you have to write question and answers, fill in the blanks, and here no fill in the blanks, only question and answers. You have to write it. I will send the PDF and you have to complete your notes in good handwriting. Okay, so that's all for today's topic. Next chapter I will explain in my next video. Till then, bye, keep learning. Thank you.